Welcome back, my friends. My name is Bull Skunk alongside Chef Billy, and we're here with the grand finals of Trials of Champions. And we're going to take a quick look at the bracket to see what got our two grand finalists to this point. And one thing I'm noticing here, Billy, is well, Revival haven't dropped a map since being sent down to lower bracket. They're trying to pull a Team CC, a San Francisco Shock, and go through with a flawless run from lowers bracket all the way to the grand finals. As we get our take a look at our rosters here, we'll have Revival coming in with Wub and Aspire in the damage role. This Wub versus Maxwell fight, I'm very much looking forward to this one. You're also gonna have Movie and Salty will be your tank lineup here for Revival with Aspen and Liar in the support role. And on the other side, we will have Maxwell and Default putting the hurt down here for Kratos. Once again, Maxwell, a fantastic Genji in his own right. We'll see how that matchup goes. You got Crawley and Borkin in the tank lineup. And then we have Micro and Gunther will be keeping the team alive for Kratos. Gunther versus Aspen is another matchup we'll be keeping a sharp eye on here, as Lijiang Tower will be our opening map here, Billy.
Yeah, indeed. And getting into that support role, I love the support role matchups. We saw Gunther be a little stubborn playing on the Zenyatta in certain positions where he was almost a detriment to his team. But they did get through their winners bracket just fine. So they have a bit of momentum going. But back to Revival, three straight 3-0 runs through the losers bracket. And now here we are, grand finals of the Trial of Champions. Everything going for Pank One, the Canadian Research Foundation and charity for pancreatic cancer. Everybody out there, mash that exclamation point, donate. Please give what you can. This is our last little bit of push here. Bull Skunk is going to shave his head.
That will happen. And our grand finals have begun. We will also figure out who the champion is here in the Trial of Champions. All the teams are champions participating in this tournament for a wonderful cause. Cratos getting up position on the objective first. Revival is circling around blue white room. Find the opening kill with Salty on the Reinhardt, but he dies along the way. Mookie goes down to boot. And Cratos in a strong position to start things off on Lijiang Tower.
Yep, it's double shield versus Brawl right now, and the Brawl absolutely winning out. Maxwell getting some really good value in exit kills. Ending that fight there on the Genji. We're running a Genji Reaper from Cratos, and probably getting in on the Diva. Orchid already has Shatter available, Skunk, and I mean, they did a little bit of a compositional shift from Revival, bringing out the Doomfist and Reaper.
The Shatter going a little bit awry there, and Borkin heads back to spawn. Love taking up the Doomfist, taking that from Aspire, who's gone over to that Reaper like they were talking about. Trying to counter back as we have dueling edgelords on the point, but Maxwell with an early blade, finds one. Default stealing the other kill from him. But Revival still with the main advantage on this objective. Try to overcome that. Kratos is throwing their sound barrier into the mix, but that's going to prompt Liar to put down a coalescence of their own. All the while, Kratos maintaining control at this point. Their tanks return into this battle.
I think that right now the Supercharger is going to probably swing things in their favor, other though Morgan has other ideas, taking Lyra out on the Moira. Their main source of healing down is going to invest the sound barrier to try and keep up their team, and I believe it's going to be a flip, just a little bit of contest left.
Salty got a couple kills off of that. This is still anybody's game on the point. Dwindling numbers for both sides. Salty's going to find that kill on the Default. They've got to get the Arisa down. The Fortify's gone. Maxwell with yet another blade. Oh, but it won't be another Spire. Counter pushes back with the Death Blossom. Rub returns with a big right hook. And Revival will eventually take this point back, but not before Kratos has gotten 80+%.
I mean, that was an incredible stall coming out of Cratos there. Maxwell getting 3 blades in this first map. Deciding that they're going to go ahead and mirror what Wub is bringing to the table in the Doomfist. Default is going to have another Death Blossom ready to go. So Wub basically having what they need to defend against the aggression coming from Crawley and company. There's going to be a self-destruct being able to be thrown into this. So there's going to be a lot of panic on the point starting real soon.
Self-destruct, Earth Shatter, Coalescence, the latter of the two coming out immediately as Kratos just needs to win one more fight, and they're already 5 kills to doing that. I say that, 83%, there might be time for a rushed fight from Revival here.
Absolutely, and Aspen is probably going to get up another sound barrier if they get enough of the healing, the crowd healing going on, especially if she starts clicking heads. Salty and Aspire maybe getting their ultimates if they work it right.
Self-destruct coming out early. The Vault picks off Flyer, and the primary source of healing now missing for Revival. They look to push it in, try to take this point back. Meteor Strike coming over the top. Luffy getting into the kill feed. 5-1, but the Meteor Strike finds nothing. Sound barrier there, and that's going to protect against the spinning shotguns of death. Coming from Aspire, who cannot survive. Default drops the better. Death Blossom into the mix. But it's still back and forth on this objective. Kratos down in the numbers. Lucius and the Reinhardt left on the objective. Maxwell can't last long. And overtime wake already starting to burn as Revival gets the point back.
Absolutely, and what an expensive fight for both teams. And not getting a lot of value. I think the best value out of all those ultimates was Default's Death Blossom really capturing and taking down armor for them. So Salty has a Shatter available to them. Moopy coming up on another sound barrier. I'm looking at the support ultimates. Liar's probably going to have Coalescence to defend because that's a huge Shatter.
That was a big Shatter from Cratos there. And they're able, or excuse me, from Revival, they're able to find 3 kills on the back of it, only losing Aspire along the way. Love dancing around in the back, able to take down Luther. Now looking to fight Default on the Reaper. Both just retreat back to their respective corners.
Absolutely, and look at, I mean, Liar didn't even have to invest the Coalescence into that Salty. That was a massive 3-man Shatter that came out of him. You're going to have to look for Borkin here on Kratos. They have Shatter available, and they're going to invest the Coalescence in to keep him up through it.
Dueling laser beam, supercharge on the board for Revival. Love's going to go ahead and throw down the Meteor Strike. Where are you going to land? Who are you going to land on? Oh! Not sure where he landed, but he got stunned up immediately. That's a little take down Borkin, though. It's a good hold here for Revival, as now there's overtime will wake up burning and not much opportunity for Kratos to get back. They're having to straggle on the point.
Yeah, I think this is spin to win. It's just going to be real quick cleanup for them. I don't think anybody's going to be able to touch at all. There is the touch, though, coming in from Maxwell, but he's deleted immediately. Borkin and company just laying the power down, laying all the damage down range, and they actually turn it around and take the first point here, Bull Skunk. And the brawl, the switches of the compositions coming out in the middle of the map there, I think was really what gave Revival that bit more oomph into their game. And when Wub swapped off to the Doomfist, that was the real shift that happened. That was when the real aggression started coming out, and Kratos at that point was trying to play catch up, especially in the ultimate economy. They were always behind. And yeah, I really loved what I saw there from Revival. That's now 10 maps in a row.
Well, they haven't taken this one quite yet. Just the opening round.
You know what I meant.
It's getting close. Yeah, I know. Revival does not like to lose. That has been proven, and they're not doing a whole lot of it here today. Head into guard here. Both teams just flashing outside by the tower. A lot of damage on Inspire. Cannot survive that. Inspire just sitting out in the open way too long. But Wub answers back, taking Default out of the mix. Both teams missing their Ash. And Kratos with positional advantage. Gunther with a beautiful use of the whip shot. Sends Salty into the ring. And Kratos picking up first control.
Yeah, and what a very impressive bit of moving there from Bork and putting the halt out, and Maxwell getting the dash reset through it, picking up a lot of ultimate charge into the boot. Micro almost already has an application. So that is what you were seeing coming out from the healer core there. Micro putting up a pretty dominant performance right now. Liar doing the same thing on their own end, but I mean, right now the ultimates are so far in favor of Kratos that, you know, you're going to be seeing them start to pop in here as they cross 30%.
Quite a deficit for Rival to overcome as they try to pass in through wide, but they're running into an amp matrix. They throw down an amplification matrix of their own, both teams backing up. Now a supercharger from Cratos, giving him that bit even more damage as Bob goes running all the way off the cliff. Nice whole triple kill! Woo. Beautiful play. They're all initiated by Borkin on the Ori.
That was my Gong of Death for the night. That's the first one I think I've actually heard. What an impressive hook or halt there coming out of Bork, and also invested the supercharger into it just to give it good measure. The real star of that one was Gunter putting a flail shot onto the Bob of Aspire, and he just went bye-bye.
All the way down to the bottom of Lijiang you go, into the streets, into the river. Now Revival once again passing around using the long entryway, but they're running into Dynamite. They're running into so much damage. The Spire can't even make it to the objective. Now Maxwell dropping a giant blade into the back. Not much to defend against it. And the Katana indeed slicing and dicing Cratos to victory here. 90% on the board. It'll be a rushed touch, if at all, from Revival.
Yeah, I think Crawley wants to bring out the, I'm sorry, Moopy is going to bring out the ball here for Revival, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty easy 100-0, even though that is a big, fat, Raphidic Flux. Not getting much value out of it, though, and, you know, just basically clean up here, Bliska.
Well, Goofy is down, but Revival's missing Wub as they try to push in. His blade totally negated in the back line by Maxwell. Amplification Matrix didn't find much, but Moopy goes pounding into the mix. Gets the huge slam there, is able to find the kill, get Revival to flip.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that coming. I just a real good roll, mechanical skill there, and awareness of knowing where Cratos was set up, and you know, once they got that initial pick onto Micro, it was pretty much done from that point.
Now coming back in, not a whole lot of ultimates for Cratos to work with. Good news is there's not a whole lot for Revival online either. Bob will be the closest thing for Aspire on the server. Cratos is pushing across bridge. Forced to use their Immortality Field early, and now there's nothing to protect against that Bob that comes out. Salty putting in so much damage on top of it all. And Revival with a clean hold here to start off their defense of guard.
Yeah, and that was just a, I mean, they did invest the Bob of Aspire into that. Ultimates were gained there for Cratos. They did get Borkin Supercharger. Micro and Maxwell very close to theirs as well. I think we hold out for the blade of Maxwell, as we've seen him get a lot of value here. And we're looking at a little backside rotation coming from Cratos, and I like this going into White Room there and being able to really just kind of absorb the damage and get that amplification matrix. And I think they're going to set it up and really pour the damage downrange.
Both teams in a strong position here with a lot of range to work. Ant Matrix out from Cratos as they try to push through the narrow hallway. Oh, and Maxwell goes down. What a beautiful play from Aspire. New value in that play, denying the Genji blade from coming out at all. Now Salty's going to go into Raphidic Flux. That does get the Immortality Field out. Supercharges below the entry Cratos as well as they try to find some room to work, and Borkin takes down Moopy. That's a big shield gone. Aspire's Bob is back in the pocket, and now it's up to Wub to deny this attack, but what Maxwell makes it back into the fight at just the right time, pulls out the Genji blade, slices down Wub, who had the blade of their own, and makes a kill on the Fire. Now Cratos has the man advantage on the point, 99-99. Ant Matrix out. They're going to take down Moopy. There's somebody else calling this out. Oh, Aspen was still hanging around on the point, but quickly dealt with. Genji and Lucio returning to try to stall as long as possible for Revival.
Yeah, Gunter really putting up a lot of value here on the Brigitte. Not only starting that fight off with the rally, but now just laying waste with the flail, just getting in there, getting so much value on this. The Immortality Barrier is huge for Micro there, as there's a lot of pressure coming into them. But Crawley is starting to turn this around, and on their own, they're getting a lot of aggression and a lot of focus fire going down, but this is turning into a chaotic Seagull Scout. Yeah,
Revival keeping their tanks alive. Salty able to get back in mech. And Moopy's been surviving on this objective for quite some time, but Liar goes down. Oh, and the health bars from Revival looking oh so low. Salty out of the mix. Moopy able to stay alive, but can't stay on the point. And Cratos tying us up here on Lijiang.
So now we're going to go to Night Market. That was a lot more almost meta of compositions coming out here on Gardens. And, you know, we want to see, will Symmetra be used here? Or are we going to aggress on the point? I like Moopy's Wrecking Ball. We hadn't seen it at all pretty much non-existence in the other matches that we've seen casted of Revival today. Moopy putting in a pretty good performance on the Wrecking Ball, so that might be in the back pocket, in the back of our minds as we go through our grand finals here. But tied up, all for the spades here at Night Garden.
3, 2, 1.
This opening map, oh so important. Who's going to take the lead? Can Cratos be the first person to take a map off of Revival in the past 4 series? Now is their opportunity. Coming out with the very meta Genji Ashe double sheet.
Indeed, and I mean, looking at the rotation, they're trying to get behind and around the shielding of Cratos right now. Cratos taking a lot of damage, and the healers are keeping them up beautifully. Look at Micro's ultimate charge right now.
We're getting a little mini battle off to the side, over by the Mega, far away from the objective. As the Ashe and Sigma from both teams are over there. Maxwell winning the Genji battle. This time around, finds first blood here on Garden. Flyer super low is going to go down as well. Gunther with the final blow on that one. And Cratos up 2 man, make that 4 as they push onto the point. And we're going to get first capture started for us. Maxwell already with the blade online compared to Wub's 24%.
Yeah, and that was all set up by another impressive halt by Borkin. Borkin gets the credit that they deserve because, man, the halts that are coming out from Borkin right now are absolutely huge. Maxwell using them to maximum benefit in getting those dash resets going through them. As you see the frag flip, you're looking at some rotation here.
I see what you did there with the fun. Very nice, very nice. Revival going to the high ground. Oh, Maxwell waiting for him though with a big dash, already putting the hurt down, getting into their minds. Well, this is their backline though. And Cratos needs to be careful, but with the Matrix of Default's aim, oh no, Default doing him dirty, finds 3 with the fight, and throws Bob in to pick up one of those.
Yeah, that's I see what you did there with a Default doing him dirty. Yeah, that's just a great amount of ultimate discipline there. Just investing what you needed to get into it. The Ant Matrix doing what it needed to do, and then really securing the deal there with the Bob. But you take that off the table for a little bit from Default. But I mean, look at the ultimate charge already going up for the Southern Belle, almost 50% to another Bob. This is going to be huge. Going into the defense of the point here as they cross 60%. Full Sky. We got to watch out for Aspire's Bob as it comes in right now. Salty coming in with the Gravitic Block.
Bob went. Maxwell's going to pull out a blanket, shut down immediately, but so does the Flux. Both of those ultimates finding 0 value, and both teams are missing a member. Revival's looking to push on the objective. Now the Flux from the other side. Crowley's much better. They're able to take Aston out of the fight, but they will work it. Now a 4v4 here. Gunther looking to tilt the balance with the break. Takes Wub down. And Cratos, they just need to hold on for a little bit longer. Be the first person to take a map off of Revival in so many series. Flyer does pick up 1, but Micro's able to take Moopy down. All the while, Revival flips this point. Okay, never mind. I got my glasses on there for a second, Billy. My apologies. What I think I should tell in the future is Wub comes in and manages to pick up sub. Salty and Flyer get in the mix, but it's just a hog suddenly left on the objective. It was just a little bit of foresight there. I pulled a little 3-eyed raven on you, Billy. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's all fine with me, but I mean, looking at what we swapped here, Crawley swapping to the Sigma now, and Borgen brought out the Hog for a little bit, but now they're going to bring back the same meta comp of the Orisa Sigma. Ultimate's gained in that, though. Looking at Aspire is going to have the Bob to be able to deflect some of this damage coming in, but the Bobs have been seeing the outside of the map here a couple of times here in our opening map, and I mean, there's got to be a little bit better placement of those buttons.
Well, that's a fantastic placement on that Ant Matrix. Borkin able to take Aspen down early. Default utilizing it to take Salty down as well. Now Bob thrown right onto the objective. Default is looking to flank around. Aspire knows they're coming though. Ant Matrix out from Revival. So look at a hole. Love's going to go and throw Blade down. Finds 1, but Gunther there to shut down any further progress. Using the rally to bolster the whole rest of the team. And Cratos armored up, ready to protect their point. Maxwell with the blade in hand, cuts down Ashley just as she enters the battle. Now looking to take down the Sigma. Finds the kill on the Sigma. Finds the win. As Cratos taking an early lead here in the grand finals.
I think Gunther got really ticked off there and decided that he was done with Genji blades for this map. and went ahead and dispatched Wub in very quick fashion. The tank play right now from both sides is just absolutely phenomenal. Looking at the zoning and the usage of the gravitic flux and the halts have been just absolutely spot on. I'm giving a little bit of an edge right now to Kratos as we saw them really get usage of Borkin's halts. I think that's part of the reason why they took that there. Also, we were talking about it before we came on the air for this grand final. This is map number what, 10? So map number 10 in a row for Revival. And I was thinking they might be a little bit mentally tired coming into this. I mean, they still look sharp as heck. And Kratos going up 1-0. And yeah, I'm very interested to see where we go and see how Revival revives themselves as we go to the next map.
Yeah, they're in need of a bit of a revival here as they find themselves down in the grand finals, but they're certainly capable of making the comeback. And it will be their map choice here for map 2. And it sounds like we're headed to Junkertown here for map number 2 once again, going back to Australia. I like this pick, Billy.
I like it too. I think that we hopefully will be treated to another beautiful sniper battle. I also looking at the two Genjis, Maxwell getting the better of Wub there. That was something that we were going to
Yeah.
be focusing on in our match, in our grand final tonight. And right now, Maxwell getting the better of Wub, even though Wub was able to put a lot of value out there on the Genji. Maxwell's blades were just a little bit better.
Two very strong Gidgeys in their own right, but I'd have to agree. And I don't know if that was just from individual performance or the team of Kratos focusing Wub down a little bit harder and a little bit faster. We'll be keeping an eye on that as this match goes on. But another matchup we were looking at is Gunther and Aspen. And I think Gunther was getting into the mix a bit more on the brig and providing a little bit better value as well from the support line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Borkin wins the main tank battle, the Orisa battle. I mean, we saw so many assists come out of the halts that they've got to really,
Yeah.
watch the shielding. I think that Moopy and Salty are going to have to watch where Borkin's positioning is as they're getting so much value out of those halts from Borkin. I love the name because you know how I refer to my dogs. They bork around. So Borkin is obviously the most awesome main tank name ever. But coming into this now, going on to the defense will be Revival, and they've got to figure out what are they going to do to deal with Maxwell and deal with Borkin. We saw Aspire take a Widow duel here on Junkertown and was absolutely lethal with the French assassin. And Bullskunk, I want to get your opinion in on this. Does Default have the same skill that we saw Aspire bring out on Junkertown earlier tonight?
That's a wait and see because we know Aspire can click heads with the best of them on the Widowmaker. And if Default's up to the task, then Kratos has a chance of making a run through Junkertown here. But otherwise, Revival certainly has the edge. But it will require Dub to step up a little bit, pull out some of those amazing ninja tactics that we've seen from him the entire tournament. As this map opens up, Kratos choosing to go on the attack here with their double shield composition.
Yeah, and you like this. You like them coming out on the attack first and really beefing their chest out and saying, I got you, fam. We're going to go ahead and take it to you.
I like the confidence. I like the confidence it takes to attack first, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, Default not getting some value right now. I think they just need to get a better line of sight as they move the cart around. I think going to the left-hand side and getting around that outbuilding on the left side, really providing the line of sight that they need to start pumping in the damage.
Yeah, both teams just keeping each other in check right now. As Revival is trying to work the flank a little bit, but I think the majority of them have diverted their attention back to the front line. You have Maxwell still working around from back behind Revival, trying to flank around the left side from his point of view. Oh, and that you proved very fruitful. They're always moving in from the front while they're distracted from the back, able to find multiple kills. Default landed the body shot that Maxwell cleaned up there to finish off the Spire.
Yeah, this is a pretty quick roll through here at the first point of Junkertown. I don't know if there's going to be anybody that's going to be able to touch. I think they just secede this point to Cratos and let them get their defense set up. Ultimate's online, not very much to speak of. Maxwell's pretty much ready to go with a blade. Crawley is going to have this Gravitic Flux ready to go. Not much to defend against it, though.
No, Aspen close to a rally, but it's going to take a little bit into the mid-fight before that's finally ready to go. That extra armor can definitely be useful against Maxwell's blade, though. We'll see how quickly Maxwell chooses to strike. He's diving in. He's going to go ahead and pull it out. Not a Spire on the way in. Now chopping it, looking for more. Eventually takes down Aspen after killing that immortality field, but the defense is struck right back in their own right. Finding 3 kills based on the back of Salty's wonderful flux there on the card. And the defense hanging on here. Oh, Salty has 1 health. Oh, Default takes him down. And with Salty gone, the rest popping a reset in the back of point B.
Indeed, and I like the ability to stop here and just, you know, catch your breath, catch your organization, get it back together, and then come out here and have a contest before we get into point B or point C, because right now 4 minutes is on the clock, and they're going to have to get their act together. Otherwise, this is going to be a lightning fast take of point B.
Interesting position from the defense here. Wubbs is going to pull the blade and just start slicing and dicing in the back. Find 2. As the defense drew him into that tiny room, and then Wubbs said, "Welcome to my parlor," said the Genji to the fly.
Nice trap laid there by Revival, and great usage of the ultimate there from Wub. Looking at what we're coming up to in our next fight, Maxwell probably with a good dash and reset will probably gain that Dragon Blade. Borkin going to be able to help with that with the Supercharger online. And Aspire versus Default right now. Aspire is still clicking heads. I just think that maybe Ash, after you get said clicks, might be beneficial to get some more kit usage from the Southern Belle.
Interesting rotation from Cratos as they look around that far side, but Aspire, sights trained on that door, taking down 2 as they try to emerge on the top. Now Cratos trying to push in with only half of their team. Revival pursuing the exit kills.
Absolutely, and Aspen right there just providing so much Inspire healing, allowing Liar and Wub to get very aggressive and tracking down those kills. And for Fruits there, gains another rally. That's going to be huge going up against Max's next Dragon Blade or the Gravitic Flux of Crawley. Micro, gonna have the amplification matrix ready to go.
Revival dropping the Infrasight, so they know exactly the approach Cratos wants to take here. Cratos just kind of sat back, let it go out. Now they're going to try to push low right. Are they going to emerge on the high ground, or are they going to come out low here by cart? Looks like they haven't quite decided yet. Okay, merging from cart, they're splitting the attack. Nice halt blocks onto the lower level attack from Koru. And Maxwell tried to throw the blade down, but Aspen shut it down from the brick. Aspen so far forward, rally in hand, and just fearlessly taking down the flanking members of Cratos.
Yeah, and what we started with a almost 5-minute time bank is now whittled down to 90 seconds, Bullskunk. This is absolutely what Revival needed in reviving their chances of really contesting this grand final. It was looking to be like an avalanche coming against them in the form of Cratos, but Crawley does have Flux online. This is going to have to be a very well-placed Immortality field from Liar. Wub might also be able to turn the course of this fight with his next Dragon Blade.
It all started with that beautiful trap that Revival set Cratos fell into. Since then, offensive middle getting it going. Here comes Crawley's Flux. It's interrupted! Salty with a beautiful accretion. Takes Crawley right out of that ultimate. And now the amplification matrix down for the defense. The blade is out, and there is no surviving the onslaught of damage. Revival's slowing down.
Oh my goodness, what a series of events there. That rock coming out of Salty to ding Crawley in the noggin. Taking him out of his flux, taking all the benefit of that out. See you later. Good night. Go back to spawn.
Oh, look at the time. There's just one more attack left here for Kratos to make something happen. They got both support ults ready to go. Supercharger not too far behind. Aspire dropping another Infrasight out. So defense can scout exactly what Cratos is planning here. And they're planning to come out through the high ground. They can take control, but they lose Maxwell along the way. A disastrous start. All sitting ducks with a giant flux coming out. And now there's just 4 members of Cratos caught in a bad place, taking damage from all sides. There's just not enough sustain in the world to survive this beautiful pincer play set up by Revival on the defense.
Oh my goodness, and that gravitic flux from Salty absolutely sealing the inevitable. Just cleanup right now as we see Borkin come in on the wrecking ball. That's just gonna be cleanup. That's it. That's done. Oh my goodness, but it's done. That is how you stop a snowball in Australia. Starting off with a little bit of a spider trap.
Yeah, that was absolutely a spider trap. And Cratos walked right into the web, and they were never able to escape throughout the entirety of the rest of the map. And now Revival, with a very attainable win condition, halfway through Streets phase of Junkertown, looking to tie up the grand finals.
You know, Salty and Wub really putting the team on their backs there, getting a lot of value. But I want to really point out Aspen on the Brigitte. I mean, how many times did we see them shut down a Blade? Or shut down, you know, a move coming, a dash coming through from Maxwell, and having the rally up at just the most crucial times. I think that this is a standout performance right now on the little Swedish healer, and yeah, full credit to Aspen, just absolutely putting the team on her back, and that was a fantastic performance.
A great hold. Taking 4.5 minutes off of point B is no small feat. I think you're happy if you cut that time in half. Not mention just put the brakes on it entirely. Now Cratos coming out on the defense, hoping they can thwart Revival's comeback. Bringing out the double shield with the Widowmaker and the Genji once again. No surprises here as we're going to get the mirror comp. Pretty meta. Nothing unexpected.
I mean, we get another Widow duel, which is
I love the Widow duels.
We love the Widow duels.
Yeah. So exciting to watch. Such flashy plays.
So now we need to see where they're going to pass. Which way are they going to
Exactly. What is your approach here, Revival? You have Salty taken to the high ground, just putting some early damage down onto the shield of Crawley off on the outside angle. Nothing substantial coming through just yet.
Yeah, a little bit of a Genji 1v1. Wub and Maxwell throwing some shurikens into each other, posturing for dominance here on the Cyber Ninja. I mean, you looking like they're mirroring their mirror almost individually. Now Wub's going to go ahead and start the engagement off with a couple of dashes.
Yep, Wub taking a slight Blade lead with a halt dash through there, putting them up just under halfway. Maxwell equalizing. Both these Genjis have just been going hard for each other, tit for tat. Every step of the way so far here on Revival's attack.
Absolutely. I mean, we're looking. I think we're playing for Gravitic Flux here. I think that's the initiating ultimate that both these teams seem to be really playing for and trying to get up first, as they, you know, it does so much damage to them. It's taking 50% of their health.
Oh, Cratos with a bold move, trying to circle around to the high ground, but Aspire punishes it, finding a pair of kills. Default does answer back with one of their own, but with 2 missing, Movie is free to push forward, get the damage on the front line with a little help from Liar's Ant Matrix, and now it's full steam ahead for this card.
Yep, and I mean, that all started with Aspire taking 2 domes and just sending them back to spawn quick as you like, and that was the beginning of the end of the defense of point A here for Cratos. And now time coming in, 4:38 is what they have to work with. Similar time that that Cratos had to work with coming into this phase of Junkertown. And ultimates, I mean, pretty even. We got 3 on the board, 4 on the board for Cratos, but not too far behind for Revival. So it's going to be Blade versus Blade, and I think that Aspen's rally is going to really help seal the deal should he get it off in time.
Yeah, you might be able to save the team with that big rally. Gunther does not quite have his available just yet. Both teams taking a slow approach. The defense happy to just sit up top and lay down covering fire. And Revival just slowly working around the card. Okay, here we go. Go time. Sword fight on the point. Maxwell wins the sword fight. Now they're switching onto the front line with the supercharged team. They're not going to be easy to take him down. Immortality Shield out of the way, and default finds to go on to Moopy. Dramatic Clutch thrown in from Salty as Revival looks to kind of push back and finds a pair of kills, but they lose Aspen. It's a 4v3 on the objective, favoring the defense. Oh, default getting the better into the sniper duel, and this will be a reset from Revival.
Absolutely. I think that honor is the better part of valor here as you regroup your team, because if doing the split defense with Crawley being on the ground on the streets, and then Orkin setting up his own little bunker on the high ground, and his crossfire from everybody, but Salty getting a massive accretion disc into there. I think it's go time right now.
Salty and Wub with just giant McNuggies. They say no reset necessary. We're staying in this fight through every step of the way. And now look at them lighting up the feed. Oh my goodness, this pair just outstanding for Revival.
Oh my goodness, that was exactly what was required and what was needed. Oh, shot from default.
Maybe Wub's hubris might have got the best of him. There is a chance for a contest here on the back of this point. This thing is not done. Working on the objective. We've got default up on the high ground with a little bit of a duel with the Spire. Meanwhile, back on the ground line, Salty's able to take down Luther. And here comes the Flux Prawn. This be the one that allows Cratos to hold here on Junkertown. No, it does not look like it. Aspen's rallying right there to top everybody off, not allow the punish, and Wub is free to do his thing. He does two beautiful dash resets with a deflect onto the sniper shot to cap it off. Insane plays from Wub are going to allow Revival to tie up this match.
I mean, and the thing that really got it up through that, not only the Inspire healing of Aspen, once again, getting that rally up so fast, getting that extra armor in there, and then Wub doing Wub things, and that deflect onto default on the Widowmaker, absolutely sealing the deal. The one-shot potential was gone, and man, that is a way to answer it back after losing on Lijiang Tower. That is what you like to see, this clap back. And yeah, I mean, it was just filth coming from Wub. I think Wub wins the Genji battle this map, Bull Skunk.
Yes, sir. He did indeed. We're going to take a quick break here at halftime. We'll be back with map number 3. It will be Kratos' map pick. Can they answer back? We'll find out when we return. In the meantime, don't forget to donate. And let's put a damper here on cancer. We're going to pull out that TAC visor, put it in our sights. Remember, we're all soldiers now. friends, to the grand finals in the Trial of Champions. Kratos and Revival tied up 1-1 here at the half. But before we talk about further about that, I want to remind you why we're all here. This tournament here for an awesome cause is we're looking to put a big hurt on cancer, pulling out those Genji blades and cutting pancreatic cancer down to size. And you can do that by hitting exclamation donate command there in chat. Only 8% survival rate on this thing. We need to bring those levels up. So you can help with that. Let's show the world gamers can cure cancer. But that's enough of that. Billy, let's talk about Blizzard World here as we're heading to map 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're going to Blizzard World here and looking at what we saw there on Junkertown with the more traditional compositions that we've been seeing here in this meta. You've got to look at who's going to be playing Ashe. It's probably going to be Aspire versus Default.
It will.
And looking at Wub and Maxwell on the Genjis respectively, I think that, right now, Salty and Wub are coordinating so well together, and also Moopy and Wub on the halt dashes and the halt rocks, all that coming together right now, bringing Revival back square in our grand finals here. And I think that Borkin and Crawley need to get on a little bit better of a synergy and really start getting those combos together, seeing the halt rocks come out. And, I just think it's got to come from the tanks.
We saw it from them in Lijiang Tower, but seemed to falter a bit on Junkertown. We'll see if they can find that synergy back here as we head into map 3. And now is the time. If you want to get crowned kings, you need to win some maps. And, well, Blizzard World will be your next opportunity with that.
But, yeah, and Blizzard World is a great place to get that done for them, Bullskunk.
Indeed. And I think the same thing goes for the Wub-Maxwell battle as well. I think Maxwell had the edge on Lijiang Tower, but Wub clearly took it on Junkertown in our Genji v Genji matchup. So I'm excited to see how Kratos bounces back. Is their mental folded? Are they boomed? Are they coming out stronger than ever? This is their map pick, which means Revival has chosen the defense here.
Absolutely, and I like the pick of Revival being on the defense. They want to see what time they have to match or beat. I also like it for the fact that you put a stamp down there, and this is they're 10-1, right? Or yeah, they're 10-1 across their last 11 matches. So,
yeah, across past 4 series.
Yeah, so they're feeling it right now, and I think that getting that win there really does help them. And this has devolved for me personally. I think this has devolved into a mirror 1v1 on so many micro levels. It's the Genji v Genji, it's the Ashe sniper versus sniper, it's the Orisa versus Orisa ad nauseum. So who's going to win their individual matchup against their mirror? That's what I'm looking at right now. That's what I want to see from this next map of Blizzard World.
Revival just setting up shop up on Griffin, now rotating back around to the objective after some pressure from Maxwell. The ground troops from Kratos going around to the left-hand side. The front line's looking to try to buy some space, but they're met with a lot of resistance from Salty, who's doing a great job of keeping Kratos in check so far. But slowly but surely, Kratos getting a lot of ground here on point A.
Yeah, and the shielding is starting to go down. An early immortality barrier having come out from Liar. And there is the pull that we were talking about.
As soon as that immortality goes down, here comes the amplification matrix from Micro. Probably able to clean up with 3 kills on the Sigma.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what the doctor ordered. I mean, that's how you answer. How are you coming back from the previous map? And, I mean, they just put so much pressure into the shielding of Revival that Liar had, like I said, Liar had to pop an earlier mortality field as soon as it was down. That was go time. Maxwell almost has Blade ready to go.
The halt dash combos on point so far for Kratos here on Blizzard World. A little bit of a Genji duel on top of the anti-air gun there, as this cart slowly starts moving through street space.
Yeah, and I'm looking at where they're going to position up. Liar's amplification matrix is going to have to be positioned in such a way that not only does it stop the progress, but also puts that pressure into the shielding of Kratos. And Maxwell has Blade online right now. Liar does put out that amplification matrix, and not seeing much value getting gotten out of it.
No, and here comes Maxwell's blade, and immediately finds value. Salty goes down. The Immortality Field thrown aggressively to protect the blade, but it's not enough to keep Maxwell alive. Now Wub trying to respond in kind. Finds a pair, but Bob has done work here for Cratos. Wub's blade does not find the value necessary to hold off this attack.
No, indeed. And also looking at the Bob that was invested by Aspire as well. That goes down. So not much in the tank now for defending here. If you are Revival, you do have Gravitic Flux. And if you guys, if they get their teammates back and set up in a way that they can really guard against the flanks that Kratos is trying to do right now, you're going to be able to defend quite nicely.
Also throwing the Flux in early. Here comes the Immortality Field out the other side. So he's going to go ahead and pop the rally, fuel up the team, bolster that armor, and then Supercharger laid down. The Assault starts to come through. Amplification Matrix is thrown out as Revival looks to stave off the aggression. Find one kill, but default answers back. Aspire finally picks off the bad piece. Trying to push through, finds Moopy, finds Aspire, the Brig leading the charge through the front line after Borkin goes down, and Kratos finding a lot of room to work here on point B.
Absolutely, and what we did not see was Aspire actually threw a Bob in there, and actually was giving a lot of hell to Gunther on the Brigitte, and actually gets taken down by Wub. So there is a contestation of the point right now, and working Crawley's shield. He's going to have to recall that shield and let it heal up, and that's going to give time to Revival to get back and get their high ground set up. And I love the rotation that they're doing here. They're using the architecture to their best advantage. The point is rolling along, and Wub may be able to get a super blade here should he use it in contest or in concert with Moopy's supercharger.
Possibility is there. Revival. Yeah, put up on this high ground. I like it quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Maxwell's going to go in, see if he can drive him away. Morgan finds the kill at Assault. Maxwell goes in with the blade, takes down the supercharger that's in the back, takes down the Immortality Field, but here comes the Brig. Gotta watch out for Aspen. She'll kill that Genji in a heartbeat, and no! Wub pulls out the Genji blade of his own. Tries 2 kills. One gets with the blade itself. One thrown into Kratos, trying to counterpunch back. That is everything in their bank, and now they're losing members left and right. Not enough sustain, and Revival holds on with just mere 2 meters to go. Less than that.
Less than that, and that ult coming out from Moopy and Aspire, or just laying into the head of Micro. That was nicely called. I would love to be in the comms of Revival when they do these halt combos with Moopy. We've seen it happen so often today, that just so much value getting out of these halts from the Orisa player. And now Aspen does have Rally up again, so there will be the beefing up of the defenses. What a shot through the amplification matrix full scout.
A couple of very nice shots from Spire. Moopy gets the final blow onto Borkin. Pushes down with a nice headshot onto Gunther, shutting down this assault with only 75 seconds left.
Gunther is going to have Rally will have Rally for this next fight. With Bob going into the middle of it, that could be a very nice ingress to try and get this point moving again, but we are at a standstill. It's actually moving backwards, and Salty does have Gravitic Flux, so there could be the Sigma 9 potential into it. Aspire also has Bob ready to go.
Yeah, that's the Flux is a big difference maker I'm seeing here, and Salty's been pinpoint accurate with these things all tournament long. Can do so much damage, 50% off your entire team. I mean, that's just massive building. And throw a couple Digi dashes in, they're Dunsky. Flux is gonna find 2. Rally is indeed popped. Immortality Field there to keep the team alive while the Rally does its thing. Now Bob thrown into the mix from both teams. You have dueling butlers on the field. The Spire's gonna go down, but the supercharged Cratos coming down off the high ground, putting so much pressure, driving the Revival back, but Revival's the one finding the kills. The beautiful kiting actually nets them the goods. Salty coming up with one in the end. Maxwell trying to throw a desperation blade in as their seconds are dwindling down, but there's no glory to be found. Only the spawn point for Kratos. And now, once again, a very attainable win condition set for Revival.
And it's the Brig difference. That is what I am seeing. The Brig difference that's being shown from both these teams. Aspen is absolutely lighting it up on the Brigitte right now. Gunther not getting so much value, really having to spontaneously use the rally to keep a counterpart up in the middle of a ultimate. Man, I think you really want to have that back. Getting fluxed out and really pulling that out. Smart play from Salty. I mean, he is showing a lot of mental acumen here with the usage of his fluxes. I'm totally digging what I'm seeing from Salty right now. Crawley, though, has been showing quite a few good fluxes of their own. I just don't think that the follow-up is necessarily there when he invests that ultimate into the team fights.
Boy, and a good point about Gunther's flux, or Gunther's rally being forced out by that gravitic flux, is only 2 members of Cratos benefited from that extra armor. Maxwell, the one I think who needed it most, with that blade, did not get any of that extra armor, and the blade just coming up short here for Cratos. But they're hoping they can put up a big stand here on the defense.
4, 3,
We're gonna get mirror composition once again. Whoop going to the sim just to get Revival out of the door a little quicker.
Yeah, I mean, it does do its job, and then we'll switch back to the Genji. I'm looking at the pathing here. Are they going to do that split defense that we have seen come out a couple of times? Also got to watch out for the Hulks coming out from Bork and Volska.
Looks like Revival path through Lost and Found. There was a little bit of a split defense going on. Sigma on the right-hand side from the attacker's point of view, and you've got Default back up on the high ground with a little bit of Overwatch, no pun intended, onto the objective. Probably looking for the kill as Aspire falls down into a dangerous position. It's actually Default picking up that kill. Now Whoop trying to go in deep, finds nothing, and this attack thwarted. Back to spawn goes Revival.
Absolutely, that's the time to go ahead and hit the restart button on their attack here. Looks like Lyre is going to have the amplification matrix available, so that will be a good amount of pressure being put onto the shielding of Cratos. But looking at the Genji Blade differences right now, full 30% ahead for Maxwell.
Tapping around this left side again. Revival pushing up. His ready to go, but here comes Maxwell's Blade. Into the back. Immortality Field down. Aspen down. Salty goes down. Beautiful Blade from Maxwell. Follows it up with a kill on the movie just for good measure. Excellent, excellent play from Maxwell.
I mean, that's what you like to see, and I mean, he did it dry as well. So, nothing else really aided into that. I think they weren't ready for him having that much percentage gained to the blade, as Wub was sitting at 50% when he actually popped his blade. So 2 big ultimates on the board right now for Cratos in their defense, and you're gonna have to look at some kind of creative rotations coming out of Revival. They can't just keep coming the same way.
Well, like you mentioned, because of that dry blade, Cratos now with Rally, Supercharger, Ant Matrix all ready to go, and using them to full effect. 3 kills coming through the double damage window for the defense, and Cratos looking completely unmovable on the defense so far.
Yep, and
Immovable? It'd be immovable.
Immovable.
There we go, a little English lesson for you, friends.
English lesson. Learning with Skunk and Chef. Anyways, so Wub does have Blade available, but Gunther does have the Rally to beef up the armor and the defense there, but Aspen's going to have their own Rally, so let us see how we aggress here. What is their point of attack going to be? That's a huge opening kill coming from Default.
Disaster start for Revival's attack, and with only 65 seconds, they've got to regroup. They've got to get their Orisa back in this fight. There's just no way about it. Fortunately for them, Cratos not really pursuing the exit kills.
Yeah, I think you've got 2 fights here. One, straight up as it stands, and then Moopy or Salty will have to swap over to the Wrecking Ball to get back to point fast enough to trigger it. However, looking at the ultimates, I mean, they've got 4 ultimates, almost another blade available to Cratos. This might be a full hold unless they really stack their cards together. I think Aspen's Rally is going to have to be popped first to start the ingress, and then Salty's going to have to land another one of his huge gravitic fluxes.
Dropping that flux immediately from the high ground to try to find a good base and go to the point, but they got to watch out for Maxwell's Blade. Cuts through Aspen. They're able to get Mookie as well. One trying to throw down one of his own, but gets immediately focused. Supercharger out. And Bob, the only one finding kills here for Revival. I don't even know if they're going to get that quick touch you were talking about. The ball swap definitely there. 7 seconds on the clock. Okay, he will get the touch.
Ball gets a touch, and Aspen is also on the Lucio, so there will also be that ability to touch as well, but Mookie goes down in a heap.
But there's no ultimates here for Revival to work with. Liar goes down as they move on to the objective. Maxwell already getting aggressive, trying to shut down the back line, not giving them any space to operate. Wub falls. Cratos looking to put the full hold down, barring a miracle coming out from Revival.
Not much miracle potential here. I mean, it's just all staggers. You just got to clean them up one by one as they come in, and that is going to do it. So now we are up at Cratos going up 2-1 on the back of a very dominant defensive hold there on Blizzard World, behind the backs of Default. Really stepping up into the DPS role there for Cratos. The Viper was absolutely lethal in defense, Bliscott.
And not just Default with the Viper. Maxwell's blades were also on point. As I think if we're keeping track, Maxwell now up 2-1 in our Genji duel versus Wub. He certainly got the better end of him in that map.
Absolutely. And I think the resources and just the positioning was just a little bit better. And I think that, Maxwell was getting the blade up so much faster than Wub's was. So, man, I mean, Genji difference there. Also, Gunter putting out a hell of a performance on the Brigitte again. It's just going back and forth, and you love to see this in a grand final where one team, you get a surge of adrenaline, you get a surge of confidence, and it just lifts you into the next match. And we're seeing this happen map to map, and I'm effing loving it right now, Bull Scott.
The Hulk combos from Borkin were back on point. Seemed like Kratos found that synergy that we saw in Lijiang, but seemed lacking on Junkertown. Well, they seem to have found it again. Can they close it out? On match point, Kratos looking to be your grand champions here in the Trial of Champions. We'll find out when we return with map 4 in just a few moments. back, my friends, to the Trial of Champions. We're here in the grand finals. As Kratos has a 2-1 lead over Revival. Means it's Revival's map pick. It looks like they've chosen Temple of Anubis for our assault map this evening.
I love this map, and I hope that we get to see some Junkrat play come out here, especially in defense. Such good geography and topography of the map for the Australian bomber to get a lot of value. But especially going into double shield, the shield break potential of a Junkrat here would be kind of nice to see a little bit of a refreshing new player to come onto the field, as it were, Bull Junk.
I wouldn't hold your breath there, unfortunately, Billy. I'm anticipating we're going to see more mirror matchup. I know. But the
Yeah.
Genji pay is so clean. The ass shots are so good. It's still a joy to watch. It's a beauty to watch these very talented gamers show off for us here in the Trial of Champions.
I mean, I would go so far as to call this my second beautiful game, because when it's played on this level by the players that we have here tonight in our grand finals, it is a beautiful game. When you see the play and the counterplay and the counter picking and the strategy and the chess games, and it's championship point for Kratos here. They are up 2-1. We are a first to 3 in this grand final, and yeah, it looks like we're going to get the same thing again. I would just love to see the Junkrat come out. I love Junkrat, but I'm not the one playing in the game here, so we will see what we see. I do agree with you, though. I think that Aspire versus Default all night has been a wonderful back and forth battle. I think that Maxwell versus Wub has also been one of those premium matchups that you don't get to see very often.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. And Maxwell right now, I think, has the lead in our Genji v Genji. As Kratos starting us off on the defense here. We're going to get Revival looping around left-hand side. Are they going to choose to path in by Mega? That's my question right now, Billy.
Yeah, and I mean, look at Default getting a huge amount of TNT damage into the Revival side, and missing on that one. So here comes the Bolt Rock combo. Maybe? Nope, missing on that one.
And that's the cue. Revival pushes in, nicely done, as they all manage to make it safely into the Mega. Now, Kratos' attention has turned, putting so much damage down. Maxwell just sitting up above, perched on high, throwing those shurikens into the mix. Already almost doubling the ult percentage that Love has been able to build up on their own Genji.
I'm loving what I'm seeing from the 2 DPS here. They're just spamming so much damage into there, and look at Lyre. Yeah, that's good if he lands anything into it.
Yeah, but so Roy moves in deep. Oh, man, maybe a little too deep. Bit off more than they can chew is Revival. Finding the kills in the small room. The Ant Matrix on Kratos to get in up close and personal. And Revival happy to take that duel.
Yeah, but I mean, look, everybody dropped, and now nobody's left alive except for Wub and Moopy, and they're going to go ahead and take this point. I don't think there's going to be any kind of a...
Oh, no! Maxwell comes back. Oh, no, he thought better of it. Let's see. Okay, no, they are going to... It looks like they were teetering on the idea of contesting. They were like, could we, should we? In the end, they decide it's not a good idea, and it's 5 minutes and 20 seconds in the time bank.
I could absolutely hear, winnable! Winnable! I can absolutely hear the song from Kratos saying that.
Not that time, Kratos.
Not that time. But coming in here now, Bob available for Default. Wub has passed Maxwell in the blade game category, and after we have this rally, so it's going to be rally versus rally.
Salty is dropping the flux early. That's going to force a rally and anti-fear from the defense. Bob thrown in by Default, finding a pair of kills. Maxwell dives in the back, gets 2, and then the big Omnic Butler kills half the team. Bob did something here, Billy.
Bob did do something, but Kratos did something too by investing that flux. If you want to take a look at the ultimate economy right now, they actually invested 3 into that. They put up not only the amplification matrix, they also popped rally. That is 3 out the box right there. Aspen still has their rally. Lyre's going to have their amplification matrix up. There's not going to be much to defend against the Bull Skunk.
Very true. Very true indeed. Revival with a slight edge on the ultimates coming in. Aspire is going to have a bomb available as well. But they gotta get past Maxwell's blade to start things off. Maxwell pulls out the katana, chops through the immortality field, but doesn't really find much else. He gets all that off. Aspen's rally through too much to chop down, and now it's one turn to push in with the blade. Finds one, finds two. Oh, does not quite get a kill. I thought the second slash had a sure default. Somehow survives, but all the while, Revival gets on the board, looking to get this second point on the board.
Yep, and it was Aspen's rally, as I called before. A little bit of foreshadowing there. That's going to go ahead and clean up. I mean, a little bit of dealing with Maxwell and default, which should be happening really quickly. But, I mean, just lightning fast, and that rally is absolutely what sealed the deal for them.
Yeah, there's going to be some staggers onto the point. Cratos trying to buy as much time as possible, but no ult to speak of even anywhere close to online. No heroics coming through on the back end of this point. Just trying to eat as much time off the clock as they can, and Cratos managed to get that time bank down to 3 minutes and 11 seconds.
Yep, and like I said, you know, that was an expensive fight, and I think that not having the rally available from Gunther there in the push that came from Revival, that absolutely hamstrung them, and it was just a matter of time. Aspen waited until Maxwell popped blade, and actually waited like a couple seconds into the blade, and then popped the rally late. And that it was the impetus for them all to go. Another nice halt combo coming out of Moopy. We've been calling it all night. These two Arissas and these two Brigitas absolutely showing up for their team today.
Aspen's timing has been flawless, just outstanding, able to heal up the damage done from Maxwell's blade and still have time to armor up the rest of the team for the pursuing onslaught that followed. So it was a beautiful timing indeed.
And I mean, really, Maxwell popped it, and then they threw the immortality field down, and then a couple seconds later, it was Aspen popping the rally, and he actually had to get out of there with his life because he got 0 value on that blade. Wub wins the Genji 1v1 there.
3, 2, 1.
Now, Cratos going on to the attack, hoping they can equalize. As they are on championship point, taking Anubis would take the entire thing, but they've got an uphill battle here on this map so far. Looks like they're going to try to get into that door a little bit quicker. Yeah, they're just speeding on through, but they burned a lot of cooldowns to get in there. Revival with a small window of opportunity. If they want to pursue some kills, no, they're going to go ahead and play it slow. The defense just going to sit on center platform and await a better opportunity to strike at this offense.
Man, look at that dynamite just thrown into the flick to ignite it and getting so much value on this Ashe again. Aspire really putting in the work here. And I mean, this is going to take us to a map 5. Should Revival win here, and man, they're just going to wait to pounce. They're going to take all the value out of that amplification.
They're going to try, but I don't know if they got it entirely as the kills are starting to light up blue. Cratos was waiting for that Ant Matrix as the go sign. As soon as it was up, boom, into 6th gear goes the entire team. And they do end up getting the team fight win, though they lost a couple members along the way.
Yeah, and I thought that Revival actually had a good bead on what was going on there, and I thought they were going to be able to use their cooldowns to really contest the point, but man, that's lightning fast. 5:36 left on the time bank. As they aggress to point B, Salty does have the Gravitic Flux up. Aspen is really lagging behind in the rally right now, so you're going to have to really depend upon the immortality field of Liar as we get to the mid fights and as they start to aggress here full scale.
Salty moved down the Flux early. I think it only found one. Luffy was able to fortify up, not affected by the Sigma ult. And good news here for Revival is there's not really an opportunity to snowball. They did have the ults to continue backwards at bay. Cratos can go ahead and throw their own flux in now. That finds at least 2, and Aspire can't survive. Now the Ant Matrix is out from both teams. So much damage on the field. The ball finds one. One trying to get the hero. Goes in, pulls out the blade. But there's already a bomb out there putting in the hurt. Maxwell's blade didn't really find much either, but in the end, still Cratos pushing on to the objective. Neither Genji really finding any value, but Cratos finding themselves on the point. Already have 2 ticks, 98% picked up as a matter of fact. Just need one little more push, one last little push to close this thing out. They just need to take down Loopy on this Orisa.
Yeah, and I think that's pretty much giving it down to what needed to be done. Minute 7 is going to be the time bank difference as they calculate what the times were and bring Revival down to the 2-minute mark. That was fast. That was decisive, Bull
Anything
Skunk.
you can do, I can do better.
Uh-huh. And no, you can't. Yes, I can. So, I mean, really, the damage was done by Default and Bob and Micro's amplification matrix. Borkin put another one of his signature halts around the corner and really drew everybody into the amp matrix line of sight, and they were just pumping so much damage, as you alluded to. Man, that was absolutely thick and juicy. I don't know how else to say it. Borkin and Micro.
Yeah, doing some good stuff. And Crawley's Flux on top of that, on top of the excellent halt usage and the beautiful immortality fields and Ant Matrix placement. I felt like Corey's Flux got a lot more kills, got a lot more value than Salty did. I think it was timing. Salty's Flux looked way too early and there was no follow-up.
Absolutely agree with that. And I think that Aspen just wasn't getting the same healing into her team that she had gotten on the attack phase. So we'll see. Aspen is going to be able to come out here again and really put the healing into said team.
Default with a thick dynamite. Already 35% to Bob. Wire able to get some heals off of that. So halfway to an Ant Matrix in their own right, but Default landing the headshots down onto Salty. Early pick here is going to slow Revival in their tracks.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at Default, almost has Bob online already. So that is the difference between the two teams around. Really, it's just Default. I mean, the headshot and that massive dynamite in the beginning. It's so weird to see it just so dominant on that. What a nice hot rock combo coming in from Crawley and Borkin there, Bull Skunk.
Absolutely, defense hanging on here. And that synergy continuing through. Cratos is showing us for all night, except for Junkertown. They got it back together and have eaten a lot of time off this clock already. Default takes down Salty once again. Despite the Ant Matrix out for the attacking team, it's Cratos finding all the kills.
Yeah, and I mean, the halt into the middle of that, just bringing everybody back into the line of sight of Bob. And Bob did something. Bob bopped off.
I don't know what Default does to their Bobs, but man, he's getting a lot more value out of Bob than I ever can. It's amazing the placement on this Butler.
Yes, indeed. And I mean, I wish I had any sort of the aim that is being shown here right now. But I'm a main tank, and I don't need aim. No aim, no brain. So.
I disagree with the latter. You got tons of braid. You got big braid, Billy. You don't have to worry about that one. All right, Revival with one last shot at this thing. Coming up by the Mega, but they got to worry about the Ant Matrix out from the defense. Nevertheless, Morgan goes down. Maxwell's going to go ahead and throw out a blade, but so is Wub. Wub finds one, Bud finds two, Maxwell finds one. Wub getting a little bit of the better end of the deal there, but the health bar is so low here for Revival as they're trying to push in. Default's going to go ahead and take Wub out of the fight. Nevertheless, Revival manages to get their feet planted on this objective. Aspen and Salty staying alive here for the attacking team of Revival.
And Wub getting those late kills and sending back the Kratos members back to spawn. Absolutely giving them what they needed to get the capture of that point, but only 20 seconds to get to point B. You do have some ultimates, though. Aspen is going to have a rally. And I think that's going to be the impetus for them to get in. If Salty can land one of his better gravitic fluxes here as he goes around the sides and does the flank.
Woo! And even is the follow-up going to be there? Michael goes down early, but Rally pops by, doing their topping off the rest of the team. Crawley and Borkin's still low. Borkin's going to go ahead and invest the Sound Supercharger into the mix. Flyer's going down an Ant Matrix, but one goes down. One no longer building up towards that blade. Bob throwing it from the Spire's going to find one. It's an absolute back and forth to this point. Defense just needs to hold on long enough to get the reinforcements in. Maxwell pulling out the blade and try to do just that. But Aspire's Bob continues to get kills in the back line, cleaning this objective off here for Revival. The Blade ends up getting a nada in the end, and Salty lands a nice operation to send default back to spawn.
Oh, my goodness, there's a tick.
Yeah, one tick picked up, moving up. Second tick picked up. We're getting the progress through. Is there going to be a contest, or we're going to get 4 points on the board? We're going to get the D.Va showing back up. Gunther fades into the mix. Immortality Field forced out. Revival no longer has that their advantage, but Wub coming oh so close to this Blade. Wub to put this Blade online. That should clean this thing off. Here comes the Katana. Looking for the Tracer. Tracer goes down. You still have the... Nope, Reinhardt's gone. Who's left on this point? Lucio, dead. No more Lucio. There he goes. Maxwell, the last bastion of defense left here for Cratos. And cannot hold on.
I mean, that just devolved into who could stay alive the longest. And Micro pulling out the Lucio, trying to stall out as long as they could. But Wub with another massive Blade coming out. And what great strategy they used. They really pushed into the spawns, or the spawn openings, to really get the pressure as they came onto the point. I mean, we saw Reinhardt come out, instantly deleted. We saw D.Va come out, instantly deleted. We saw Ball come out, instantly deleted. There was not enough resources for the tanks to be staying up in the middle of that fight. And man, 4 points on the board. That's going to be a tough ask of Cratos. But they do have a minute 7 extra that Cratos did, that Revival did not.
This is true. But still need to put 2 points on the board. Cratos still starting with less time than you normally do out of the gate, and Anubis point B can be hard to capture once, much less twice.
Yeah, and they did it twice on the back of some really individual banger plays. I liked what Salty did. He was just getting his gravitic his kinetic grasp, and he was using it to perfection, getting his armor back up, getting his health points back up, allowing Moopy to get back in there, and the Aspire Wub show continues.
Kratos going back on the attack. Once again, an early dynamite to allow Aspire to build up some ult charge this time. Not nearly as much as default right now. But that also means Micro building up a little bit of heal. Early Bob for the attackers, early Ant Matrix for the defense. Or, excuse me, other way around.
It happens.
Now it's just a slow approach here once again through Mega. Waiting to get that Ant Matrix online this time. Was that going to be your go side? No, they're just going to go ahead and push in without it. Realizing they're short on time, Cratos taking matters into their own hands. No ultimates necessary. They push out, find a pair of kills. Aspire down, and Revival forced to retreat back into the small room. Liar cannot escape. No more healers left for Revival. And the rest of the point should be some easy cleanup. Wub just hurling himself onto the objective. That was quite a yeet.
I mean, it was a yeet, but I think the reason why he did it is he's just trying to get as much, he die on point, get as much ultimate charge as you can, because 2 minutes and 30 seconds is what Cratos is going to have to work with to pull out this point.
The snowball looks very real too, Billy.
It does. We're looking at the Amp Matrix. That's going to be a pretty good start with Maxwell getting Blade up and ready. Let's see how he aggresses with it. Aspen not nearly close enough on the rally though.
Howdy killed down, but doesn't find much else. Sigma, oh, whoa! Whoa, answers back with a 3K Blade. Wow, what a play from Wub on the Genji, coming through in the clutch. Allow Revival to hang on for another shot here on defense.
And in that dash that you said he yeeted, that little extra percentage point, as soon as he got that Blade up, he pressed and went in there and got a 3K, and that's exactly what the defense needed there to kind of stabilize the snowball that was coming in, and Maxwell didn't get really anything out of his Blade.
No, not at all. Maxwell just ran into Salty and Aspen. He kept them in bay very nicely. Now Aspen with the rally. Throwing it onto the team. Bob thrown in from Aspire. All that extra armor. Look at all the yellow with the health bars for Revival. Just nothing Cratos can do but sit back and watch the bullets fly.
Indeed, and getting more just everything that you would want out of an ultimate. That Bob placement was absolutely huge coming from Aspire. Already almost 30% to another Bob already. Wub halfway to a blade. He is matching Maxwell shuriken for shuriken. Aspen did invest the rally, and now Gunther has rally available along with Flux and Supercharger. This could be a very dynamic fight coming from Kratos, and Default could send in Bob to contest to get into the back line of Revival.
Yeah, Cratos with a very clean ult advantage coming in on this final push. 25 seconds. Salty with the Flux to start things off. Bob from Kratos thrown in. Ant Matrix thrown in as well. Default's going to get chased off of his high ground. And taken down. Salty able to find that kill. Default had nowhere to run. Supercharger out from the defense is kind of just rewarded the attacking a little bit. At least stalled it out a bit. And suddenly, Kratos was indecisive, and they're getting picked off. One able to find Maxwell in the back. He's not able to get the blade online, but Gunther's going to take down one. Meanwhile, Aspire and Salty lighten up the feed. Default trying to hurl himself on point, but just runs right into a bomb. And Revival will hang on, tie up this series. We're headed to map 5, my friends.
We are going the distance. Bullskunk, this is a back and forth battle of the ages, and I am absolutely living for it. This is what you want in a grand final. This blade from Wub, once he got it, go time. And I mean, look at it, he got 3, and he absolutely saved his team. He saved them from championship point, and now we're going to go to control here on map 5. It's anybody's match. Sounds like we're going to go to Nepal, and it is going to be fantastic. Bullskunk.
These two powerhouses have just gone blow for blow every step of the way. This is going to be a 12-round fight, to continue with the analogy. And we're down to the end. Both teams beaten up, bruising, and exhausted. And there's just one map left. Who's got the tenacity? Who's got the perseverance? Who's got the better Genji? We're going to find out on Nepal. Oh, I can't wait, Billy. I can't wait.
I cannot wait either. And I Maxwell and Wub have gone pound for pound, blow for blow all night. Wub getting the better blades there again. And man, I am just
that one,
absolutely. It has been an absolutely fantastic night. And one last time to talk about Pank One, the foundation and charity that we are representing here and doing all this for our Trial of Champions. We are trying to get more awareness, more funding, more research into this silent killer. Only 8% of people who are diagnosed with this killer disease survive. So, if you can, ladies and gentlemen, please put exclamation donate in your command and Twitch chat, and it'll bring up where you can donate tonight.
We're dropping the Wombo combo. Let's put a big pulse bomb there on pancreatic cancer. And that's everybody in here's a champion. Every team for coming together for this wonderful cause. But there can only be one crown king, and we're going to figure out who gets to wear the crown as we head to Nepal.
And I mean, we're going to start out on Shrine, Bullskunk, and we saw some non-meta compositions come out at Lijiang, especially in Control Center.
Yeah.
So we have to look here. Yeah, we got to see Zarya too for a little bit,
and some Reaper for that matter. Yeah,
and Reaper. I mean, I was very excited to see it, and I wonder if there's going to be any kind of a compositional shift here. Or are we going to stay with the same? I think that the Symmetra, I know Wub's going to go back to Genji. We already know this. So, Wrecking Ball, definite possibility for contestation. We know that.
I mean, we are getting shown the Reinhardt by Borkin, but also I think more likely to stick is the Lucio here from Kratos.
That is interesting, and speeding out with. Yeah, we are going to see it with the Symmetra too. And
yeah, they're picking up the Reinhardt as well, but yeah, no Brig. So we'll see if that can be a difference maker, because there's no Brig here for Kratos.
Yeah, I mean, the amp up healing can be very fight swinging. Also, the mobility that you're giving to a Reinhardt with these speed, that's where it's really going to be at. But I mean,
we'll see. Pressure coming through in a big way. Revival look a little flat-footed, not prepared for the massive onslaught, the huge rush coming through. Cratos taking first control, start things off on Shrine.
Default.
Yeah,
I
it was
get
gorgeous.
excited when I see it. Oh my gosh, great tracking. Also great use of the dynamite. Good use of the coach gun to get away from the rock coming in from Salty. And Borkin already has Shatter available. That is massive. That is huge.
Clearly getting a lot of work done with the Reinhardt there in our first engagement. Default already 92 to Bob, able to click the heads of the very surprised Revival as they got rushed out. More prepared. They're coming through the side this time, but there's a big Shatter. Shatter finds 2 is the follow-up there. Boy, finds 2 kills simultaneously in the feed. Just in that Reinhardt Default. Of course, finding a couple kills in the back of that as well.
I mean, that is huge. So I'm hearing in my ear, we just passed the $400 mark that we have raised for Pink One. Congratulations. Thank you so much.
Thank you, gamers.
Thank you, gamers.
That's huge. That's a huge milestone. Well done indeed. Now, Revival coming back in. Whoa, the only one with an ult making picked off early. A disastrous start for Revival here on the 3rd engagement. And I don't even know if they're going to want to push without their Genji.
Oh, I wouldn't.
No, they're certainly not. No.
Yeah, that's folly to do that. But what you got to look for, Salty and Movie coming up on Ultimates, but I mean, we're going to be on last fight territory by the time this team fight is done, and it's going to be expensive once they do start investing in Ultimates. Oh my God, Rami.
Yeah, Troy with the Hyperspheres through the Ant Matrix. Wub in the back, trying to see if he can get anything done, but no such luck. And Cratos hanging on here, looking to take an early lead in our map 5. Can Moopy get back in touch on the ball?
I assume so. I think you can also use the Gravitic Flux to get in there as well. Maxwell pulling his blade out though, Bull Skunk.
Yeah, Maxwell got 1. Soundbarrier out from Goober. Probably just going to throw his Flux down, and now Wub pulls out the blade to go finish him off. Finds 2 with the Katana. Before getting charged out of there. With the kill, shutting down the heroics. So we're gonna deal with this wrecking ball on point though. Movie picks off Crawley, allowing Revival a little bit of breathing room and maybe an opportunity to get back in here and steal this point out from underneath Cratos.
Yeah, they just did. They just did steal the point, and progress starting to go their way. Going back and getting some switches back to more, I guess, meta picks. Moopy staying with the ball right now, though. I think they're going to wait for maybe to get their minds and then doing a switch. I just like the mobility that's being shown right now. They're matching mobility from what you're seeing from Gunther.
Revival with so much indecision on what the heroes are going to play. Nobody got back to defend the point. And then Cratos just finds themselves straggling members of this team that make for easy pickings for Default and company. They're able to push and recap this point. Now the overtime wick is about to start going down.
Yeah, I mean, just last-minute contestation here coming from Revival, and it looks like they are going to go down, but they're not done yet. Still getting the touches in there, trying to keep triggering it. That is going to do it, 128. As we see Cratos take the first map here in the hall, and I'm hoping that we get to see Sanctum next. I love Sanctum. That's my favorite map in the hall. Ooh.
Billy's hopes have been thwarted as we're going to head to Village.
This will actually favor more of a double shield comp. And as we see both teams starting to select their members, we are seeing them both show the same kind of composition, complete with the Symmetra to get them out of the gate fast.
Yep, going back to meta, both Maxwell and Wub will switch to their Genjis respectively. No surprises. And there we go, Cratos. We need one more round to take the grand finals. And they seemingly have the momentum here on the ball. And this back and forth series has been absolutely phenomenal. But they lose Borkin early. Revival finds first kill, and a very important kill at that. Now trying to take down Crawley. Can they get that kill? They do. Crawley drops, Gunther drops. 3-man lead here for Revival as they look to get first capture started on Village.
And it's going to happen, but I mean, that is a late little exit kill for Default. I didn't see where they went, though. I think they're going to jump off the map. Nope, they're going to get thrown off the map by Salty. Out you go.
Credit for that, which means he got a little bit of old charge from that as well.
Salty. about that first map. So, here goes the pendulum again, Bull Skunk, as we see Revival now take up their rightful place on the high ground here, looking at both vantage points where they will see the ingress coming from Cratos, and we're passing 25% already. Ultimate charges definitely in Revival's favor.
Absolutely can't argue there. In fact, Amplification Matrix coming out early is just going to stop that attack before it stalls. Kratos going to rotate back around to main.
Smart. I think it's smart. And I mean, Liar's getting it so fast. It's almost on cooldown. He's doing it so fast. What a halt.
A beautiful shot from Aspire taking down Maxwell, who is... They were tit for tat with Wub on that blade, but not so much anymore. And yet another reset from Kratos.
And this is all just playing into what Revival wants. They want to stay here. They want you to come to them. They're not making the aggressive move, and I love to see the patience that they are showing here. Aspire does have Bob online. Micro's going to go ahead and invest that as soon as he gets it.
Yeah, coming around the corner, the Amp Matrix used just to clean the high ground off. Revival just retreating, not giving up any extra damage, falling back to the point. Bob coming out from both teams. Assault is going to go ahead and throw the Gravitic Flux in the mix. Maxwell pulls out the blade, but two members of Kratos are already down. Can the blade equalize? No, it does not look like it will. There's the Butlers duel it out on the objective. Revival winning the duel against Kratos and maintaining control, now 90% on the board.
The brilliant part about that is that Wub did not engage his blade into that, and Aspire really getting the better of Default there, going outside and getting the dynamite and the headshot into Default, and I mean, that was clean. That was clean.
It looked like good economy from Wub because they won, but you can't take that blade with you.
No, you can't take it with you.
Wub wishes he could start Sanctum with a Genji blade ready to go. But hey, we get your map. We get your map.
We do get my map, and then
the last round.
This is it.
This is it. The last round of the Trial of Champions to decide who takes the crown, who will be the champion of champions.
In the trial,
all comes down to this. Both teams working hard. Both teams have made their way through the best of the best in the scene. And now, who can get the better end of Sanctum is going to decide it all.
Hello. Whew, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, into our last map of Sanctum, and we're going to see them posture full position here on the bridge, and it's all about shielding, it's all about focus fire coming down the line, and honestly, it's going to be whoever gets their amplification matrix up first.
The push and pull is very important on this map. Cratos doing the pushing right now as Revival trying to catch that aggression, see if they can punish the overextension from Kratos, or at least their extension. I wouldn't call it overextension just yet. Now, Revival pushing in. They're going to meet them head on as this gets very close quarters very quickly. Brawley taking down Moby, the only kill so far. That, in fact, finds another. Gunther picks up one. Aspire fails, says, I'm out, fam. Meanwhile, Kratos moves to the point.
Yep, and it was the amplification matrix that did the damage that Micro set up there and really got the aggression and got the focus fire and started deleting members of Revival. However, Liar's going to have their own amplification matrix. They also have Blade up already from Wub, so that could be a good point of contest here.
Also a little bit ahead in Flux as well. Been very aggressive with these Fluxes. You're looking for that combined with the Genji Blade. We'll see if they want to wait. Oh, they might want to wait for Mubi to get back, because Mubi just gets ulted into the pit. A brilliant start for Kratos. And Revival, they're running for the hills.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got 4 ultimates, almost 5 online. If you are Revival, you're going to need to take the point quickly, though, because you're passing almost 50% here. And this is the last map, so you got to put it all out there and get aggressive, but not too aggressive. Have that little bit of control.
Bob going on to the point. Aspen Rally coming out. That's going to initiate Wub, but Wub goes down. Gunther with a massive pick, and the amplification matrix of Revival is not enough to equalize all the damage on the other side. The big old Butler Default once again finding a couple of kills. I'm telling you, Default just has the best Bobs I've ever seen.
Absolutely, but that was really expensive. That was 4
Really
ultimates 4 ultimates, and Moopy was down at the beginning of the fight. I don't know if you necessarily need to commit all those. That might swing the momentum into Revival's way. Should they be able to get on the point? And I like that they're rotating behind and around and getting better lines of sight here.
Cratos just needs one more fight win. They've got the Gravitic Flux to throw a whip. They've got to be aware of Supercharger and Play coming up from the other side. Revival with very much a team-winning combo at their fingertips. Here they come, both of them simultaneously. Wub looking for some last-second heroics. Finds one, finds two. Looking for three. Can he get the Orisa down? Does. No, Maxwell, sorry, takes down Borkin. Moopy did drop under that as well. Revival, they get this flip based off a beautiful blade.
A beautiful blade indeed. However, you put out 5 ultimates into that fight. Starting off with the rally at the beginning of the fight, and then ending with a supercharger coming out of Moopy. 5 ultimates into that fight, you're really going to be fighting an uphill battle here. It's just going to be a battle of attrition coming out of Cratos. But individual skills sometimes can carry you through, and that's what I'm going to be looking for from both Aspire and Wub.
Well, and if they can stay in the fight long enough, Cratos will get Maxwell's blade up here in the mid-fight. Probably with the flux to start out with. So now it's Cratos with the tools to come back in and maybe one fight win and take it all home. The flux coming up first to start things off. The Sultan goes down early. Immortality Field does not have him in there. Oh, LaCroix! And Maxwell get halted into the break, but Maxwell has the blade. 2 kills from Maxwell. Gunther getting in the mix. Is going to shut down one on the other side, and that is going to do it. Kratos will take Sanctum and will take the win 3-2 and will be crowned kings here in the Trial of Champions.
That was everything that I wanted in a grand final. Bull Skunk, that was one of the most entertaining series that I have ever witnessed in my career in casting. Back and forth, absolutely crazy individual plays coming from both sides. I think that Maxwell does edge out Wub in the Genji 1v1 here. Even though Wub was no shaker on his Genji properly. Man, it was just so back and forth. This was everything I wanted.
That was a battle of 2 heavyweight Genjis, no doubt. But in the end, Maxwell and Kratos take the win, take the championship. We're going to take a quick break. Set up as we got an interview from the winning team when we return. Meantime, command, exclamation point, donate. Y'all get it done. Let's nerf pancreatic cancer. We'll be right back with an interview.
welcome back, everybody, to our Trial of Champions Grand Finals. We have in the studio with us the one, the man, the myth, the legend, the bearer of badass blades, Maxwell. How are you doing, sir?
I'm pretty good. Didn't you just tell me not to swear?
I
Yeah,
did, but
Billy,
You got to carry it away. I understand.
I
do
carried
what
away.
we say. No, we do.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll stick to the code.
Stick to the code. Don't make
Oh
me come for you.
man. Oh man. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. Congratulations on the
Thank you.
championship. Taking it all. Well done, my friend.
Yeah.
And my first question is going into map 5, you kind of gave it up on Anubis, lost that map to Revival, and you're headed to map 5. What were the comms like? How was the team feeling as we started off in the poll?
So it was interesting. Our team is generally full of a lot of mentally strong individuals. Sometimes we don't play at our best, but we never really we get frustrated, but we don't tilt. And that means that even if we lose a couple maps, even if we go down 2-0, we can bring it back. So coming into the match, we've been playing with a little bit of a roster mix-up, so we've been dealing with comm stuff. We've been getting a little bit more used to each other. And I think due to that and a little bit of pressure, we weren't playing our game. So after Junkertown, I yelled at us so that we could hold angles better. And going into Anubis, we could see a lot of that play come to fruition. We made better plans. We enacted them. We listened. We a lot of the times we'd make plays or we'd engage. We come up with really complicated plans and then execute them really well, like how we bobbed on the flank on Anubis first. That was an improv plan. We had not planned that before. And so going into map 5, we were actually a lot better. And so we were just focused on doing our best on Nepal.
That's fantastic. That worked out in your favor. It was very well done indeed. Would you say that this tournament really helped with that synergy? Did you notice a difference between now and the start of Trial of Champions as far as building the synergy with the new players?
So tournaments offer a very unique perspective in how, a little bit of a different challenge, I guess, in the different ways it can stress people out, the new pressure, especially if they're streamed and they have big prize pools against big names, right? So you might, there's a thing as performance scrim, right, where you try your best and you don't get much coaching or whatever. But the real test of your mental and what you guys can do as a team and how you can come back is through tournaments. So even though we were coming in a little bit worse than we had been at our peak, we pulled through, we kept improving, we took criticism from each other, and we improved ourselves, and it led to us winning the whole thing throughout the tournament.
Really cool insight. Lessons to be learned from all of us there in what you just said. That's awesome. Going into this matchup, there was a lot of hype between your Genji versus Wub's Genji. That was talked about in chat earlier in the day. I mean, well before this match had ever started, we were building our story around that a bit because clearly, you both have had some standout performances. What are your thoughts on that rivalry? I guess we could call it.
So I'm gonna say a little thing. Salty and Wub, a little bit of weirdos that like to go on flanks and kill everything, right? So there was so many times on Junkertown and whatnot, like Blizzard World, where Wub would just be chasing me down. He'd just hard hunt me. He wasn't even concerned with where the team was rotating. So I'd say my style leans well towards team-based, going on my own flanks and holding lanes. But he was getting so much support going for me with Pax and Sigma and Salty coming with him that I just couldn't take that duel. So what I ended up doing was playing a lot more like the Ash would generally, and just playing to draw attention and make space and go for burst value and pressuring out the back line, maybe getting the immortality, going for big dashes, and then I'd let default pop off on the Ash while everybody was looking at me.
Worked to a charm. That was very well done. Good heads up play. It
At least that's my
netted you the
excuse anyway.
championship. Yeah, hey, no, it netted you the championship. And we definitely saw that coordination, and we definitely saw default popping off and throwing some fantastic bombs. Maybe you can help me with that. My last question: how the heck does Default get such good value out of Bob? I don't get that kind of value out of Bob. What is the
So
secret?
a lot of people overestimate his engage power. The only time you can really use, okay, this is a bit of a leak. We're leaking the information, right? So don't tell anyone.
Yeah,
But
insider stuff.
yeah, of course. Bob is much better used in combination with a different alt in like the backline as extra pressure, so it's harder for them to deal with things. Like let's say you combo with a Sig alt into their backline, so they can't look at you because they have to look at the Bob or whatever. Or mid fight into their backline, you know, the same kind of thing.
Yep.
The best thing it does is pressure and not pure frags. In the same way that sometimes, you know, you go for a Dragon Blade whenever they're going through a choke and you don't expect to get kills, you expect to force resources. It's the same kind of thing, but with a slightly different timing.
Sounds like teamwork is the name of the game, at least for you guys on Kratos. And it's, well, it got you top of the top of the hill here in this tournament. So congratulations once again. Thank you so much for joining us here in this post match interview.
Thank you.
Well, I believe that is going to wrap it up here in the Trial of Champions. One last chance there to land the fat shatter onto pancreatic cancer with the command donate in the chat. Otherwise, this has been Bull Skunk and Chef Billy. The action. I would like to start off by thanking Vinicius and Evanescence, our observer and producer here today, for doing such a beautiful job behind. And moving on, we also have some thank yous for some donations. We got Alex, Nate. We also like to thank Colomeros. I hope I pronounced that right. Forgive me if I did not. Mirrors, Shape, Caps Lock, Shadow, Oliver Queen, Munching Carrot, Aqua, Evanescence once again, Eddie Lunaris, Koja, Hour Zero, Airborne, Venetius, Noella, Clark Kent, and Ender. Thank you all so much for your donations in the fight against cancer. We are leading the charge as gamers, proven it here in the past 3 days. Just a beautiful thing. I mean, this is what gaming is all about. Sure, you want to prove yourself on the battlefield, but all of these teams, and not to mention thanking all 12 teams that participated and showing the world that we can come together in the real fight, and that is truly against cancer. So much appreciated. And all the viewers at home, I mean, just hanging out, watching and supporting this wonderful cause and this wonderful tournament. We can't thank you enough and express our appreciation here from Elo Hell.
It's been a wonderful tournament. It's been a wonderful turnout, and we've gotten the message out about pancreatic cancer and saw some pretty good Overwatch to boot into it. So thank you all so very much for joining this. I think that's going to call it a night and a tournament for us.
We are all done. Kratos, once again, your champions here in the Trial of Champions. Y'all remember to look out for each other in game and out as always. And we'll see you next time.
Love you all. Bye.